Hello and welcome back to Offroad Outlaws, y'all, and in this video, we're going to be talking about the confirmation of some upcoming vehicles, the next update, some newer vehicles, and a little bit of insight into how the developers choose the vehicles that do get added to these updates. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into it. So in the comments of the last Offroad Outlaws update video I did a few weeks back, someone said, "This is dope, but I fear it may be the last update for a while," and one of the developers said, "You are wrong," in all caps. Now, that doesn't give us any kind of set time span or anything like that to the next update, but it does confirm one very important thing, and that is the existence of, yet again, another update. And what's always so interesting to me about Offroad Outlaws as a game is that even after covering it for so many years, there are still people that every time an update gets released, they are always worried that it's going to be the last one. And I get why they're afraid, I get why they're concerned, because this game is starting to get a little bit older now, but the beauty of this game is that it's basically ever evolving, and it's pretty much able to continue to evolve over time as new things come out and as the developers have new things available for the game and have new things available to just put into it. So I wouldn't really be too worried that any of the upcoming updates are going to be the quote-unquote last one. I think, sure, it's definitely something where if someone says, "Oh, this is going to be the last update," it might be a simple way for people to, I don't know, get somebody to watch their video or something if they say this could be the last update. But I mean, at that point, you're just kind of focusing in on the fear of it being the last one. So with that, though, let's get on to the next comment, because this one is really, really interesting. Now, someone said out of all the cars, they picked a Blazer, which we have like 5 lookalikes of, and a van. And here's the thing. We don't really have 5 different Blazers. That's a little bit of a reach, but I get where you're coming from. And the developer says, yeah, to be honest, you are correct, but we do have more rigs coming, which is once again extremely positive, and it means that the vehicle list is only going to continue to grow. And while I'm sure that a ever-growing vehicle list it may be a concern for those of you on older devices, I don't really think it's going to be that much of an issue in the long run, because also, I don't know how I pulled that off, but it just kind of happened. But anyway, back into the topic at hand, I'm sure that there are going to be people that are going to be, worried that if they continue to add more vehicles, that it might make the game less playable on their older devices. And while sure that might be a concern for some people, I do think that they would at least put in enough research and development into the optimization side of the game that they wouldn't release an update in a state where it would just basically not allow your older devices to run the game at all. I mean, sure, you may experience some performance issues if your device is really, really old, but even then, there is a quality adjuster in the options that you could mess with if you need to. Now, obviously, nobody wants to turn their graphics down, but at the same time, to make the game playable, it is sometimes necessary if your device is really old. Now, this next comment is a little longer, so do bear with me, but we're going to go ahead and read it out. Now, this comment starts off by saying, Offroad Outlaws would benefit more if they had newer body styles. Simple facts of people are driving 2024s, not OBSs. I'm guessing that's how they meant to word that. It would be easier to do and more realistic. I don't really feel like the hashtag do better fits here. It seems a little aggressive, but at the same time, I mean, I'm not going to harp on that, but what I am going to focus on is the dev's reply, which was, our data shows that the older rigs are the most popular ones, but we will for sure be adding some newer rigs soon. So, a couple of very interesting points there. And here's where this is going to get into a couple of different topics, but do bear with me here, and that is nostalgia tends to be one of the biggest driving factors in really any game that is based around cars and trucks and vehicles, at least in terms of what I tend to see. Now, what I mean by that is, let's take SnowRunner, for example. If someone makes a square body mod, it doesn't matter how many other square bodies are out there. If someone makes a square body mod, there are going to be a lot of people that will download it just because it is a square body, because they are a fan of that particular truck, they are a fan of that particular body style, and no matter how many times they see that same truck again and again in games, they will always pick it. Now, I'm not saying that that is a good thing or a bad thing, but what I am saying is a lot of people are driven by nostalgia when they play these games. I mean, heck, I'm not immune from this either, because there are some cars and trucks in games that I will always generally build at least one or two of as I'm going through the actual gameplay. And to the credit of the Offroad Outlaws developers, they have added some newer vehicles in the recent updates, like, for example, the Jeep Gladiator. That is very much so a new vehicle, and I do see a lot of people using it, so I think it was a really good move to add it to the game. Now, of course, the argument can always be made or thrown out there that, well, instead of adding the Jeep Gladiator, they should have added this, or they should have added this, or they should have added this. And to be honest, this game does have a really good roster of newer vehicles, from everything from the new Ford Bronco to the Gladiator to a newer Ford F450, but there are definitely trucks that I think could use a remaster still, and not only could use a remaster, but could use a lot more focus in general that a lot of people in the community have been clamoring for a very, very long time. One that I see getting asked for a lot is an updated third-gen Dodge, especially with quad cab options and mega cab options. Now, obviously, we don't have the ability to change cab sizes in Offroad Outlaws. However, just another updated third-gen would be incredible. Even if it's not a mega cab, even if it's only a quad cab, I think people would absolutely go nuts for an updated third-gen. And if they're able to do an updated K5 Blazer, I wonder if they would be able to give us an updated four-door third-gen Dodge. And I'll tell you one thing, I know that if they did do that, I feel like three-quarters of the user base would be running around in third gens for like a month at least. And if we're gonna talk Dodges, another fourth gen with a lot more realistic proportions would also be really, really nice, because the fourth gen we have in the game right now, or rather the fifth gen that we have in the game right now, is more based off of a 1500 than a 2500 or a 3500, which is why from some angles it may look a little bit awkward in dually configuration. So an updated version of that truck would also be really, really nice to see. And even though those are the options that come to my mind in terms of vehicle suggestions, I want y'all to let me know in the comments down below what vehicles you would like to see either added or updated, or really both across the board. I mean, do you think that the vehicle list right now is in a place where they should, say, for example, update some of the older rigs and then maybe remove the ones that, that were updated, like remove the old versions of some of the ones that did get updated? I don't know, but let me know. I will say though, when the developer says that the older vehicles seem to get the most usage and continually get requested more, like not only is there more usage for the older vehicles, like more people actually using them in game, but also more people continuing to ask for more older vehicles to be added, I definitely can tell that that is accurate, and I'm sure, at least it seems to me, that in the environment of this game, that would be accurate, because yes, I know there are people out there that say, oh, well, Offroad Outlaws is a quote-unquote kids game. Here's the thing, and it's interesting to say that because I see that a lot in my comments where people will say, oh, this is a kids game, or kids game this, or kids game that, or oh, Offroad Outlaws is just a quote-unquote kids game. And I'm like, here's the thing though, there are a lot of adults that play Offroad Outlaws, a lot. And also, I'm not really surprised that that part of the audience is probably the part of the audience that tends to gravitate towards the older vehicles, because they probably just connect with them more. Now, I could be a little bit off base in saying that. I could be, I could not be, I don't know. Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. And if you have anything you would like to add to the conversation, I would be more than happy to talk to all of y'all down there in the comments. But without any further ado, thank thank y'all so much for watching, and if you did enjoy and you would like to see more and stay as up-to-date as possible in everything Offroad Outlaws, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on, and I will see y'all next time. Talk to y'all later. Also, before we sign off, the map that we are using, because I'm sure a lot of people are going to ask, and I may pronounce it wrong, unfortunately, but it is Baja Park Lawag, I think is how you pronounce it. Probably not, and I probably destroyed that pronunciation, but it's a really fun map. It's on the featured maps right now, and you should definitely give it a look.